Hey guys, hopefully everyone is doing well. Today's target is to solve question number 13.22. The chapter which we are related with is leverage and capital structure. We have already solved mainly question related to leverages, where different sort of leverages we have calculated: degree of operating leverage, degree of financial leverage, and degree of total leverages were calculated. And we have also made comparison of these leverages. We established some rules as well. More leverage means more risk. In this question particularly, we are associated with simple output, as there are no complications present in this question. We are going to perform a simple function of a relationship between EBIT and EPS. EBIT, earning before interest and tax, and earning per share. Here, after introduction, it has been said that key information is available over here: 40% tax rate. This organization does have long-term debt and number of shares. Long-term debt and number of shares. What is our requirement? Calculate two EBIT EPS coordinates for each structure of selecting any two EBIT. What does that mean? Any. Since we are not provided by proper information, that is why it has been said to assume any two EBIT values. So it's up to you. These answers which are present over here, we have assumed that two EBITs are 50,000 and 60,000. When you are performing this question, you may assume whatever do you like. Alright guys, so we are now going to make income statements for two different EBITs, and secondly there are two structures. So one EBIT will be used for structure A and for structure B. Or what you can do, two EBITs would be used for A and two EBITs would be used for B. Whatever uh, performa you would like, you can make it as well. So this was anything previously written. Okay. The first step which you will take is assumed EBIT first is 50,000. Then assumed EBIT second, and you are assuming it as 60,000. So in this way, what was asked in question, to assume any two EBITs. So we have assumed 50,000 and 60,000. Please read it again by selecting any two EBITs. Alright guys, now we have four different aspects: two EBITs and two capital structures, structure A and structure B. So for that, first we will use 50,000 EBIT. With it, we will complete our statement. Here you are going to make income statements. More than one income statement would be made. So what we are going to do is to write down income statement. Alright guys, here we do write our units, then per unit, and then we are supposed to write the amount. Over here, sale was supposed to be given, not present in question. Fixed cost was supposed to be over here, not present. So we will directly start with EBIT, then you will subtract your interest, after which you will subtract tax, and we are supposed to subtract preferred dividend as well, which is not part of this question. Just for an understanding, I'm letting you know that in this way you will complete your statement. Let's centralize it. Okay, after subtracting interest, you will get earning after interest but before tax. So let's make some space for it. So this would be the answer when you will subtract your interest, and then you will have earning after interest and after tax. Finally, you can get your net earning, which is uh, useful for calculation of EPS. Alright, first we will see 50,000 number of units, as it has been assumed that EBIT is 50,000. So excuse me, 50,000 would be your amount, and we are taking it over here. And how many number of units are not mentioned over here? Everything is as it is. Setting has been changed a bit. Let it be over here. And this setting was also disturbed. We have changed that column, due to which some settings were disturbed. Alright guys, now we are going to calculate our amount of earning, but before that please understand, we are not provided units, we are not been provided by per unit, so direct calculation would be made over here. Interest for structure A is 1 lakh amount of debt, 16% rate. So to calculate interest, you will take 1 lakh and will multiply with 16 divided with 100. So this sort of cost, since you will have to pay this amount at any cost, so you might consider as your fixed cost. Alright, then earning after interest you want to calculate, which would be the answer by subtracting interest from EBIT. EBIT was 50,000 and you will subtract 16,000 amount of interest. You have got your earning before tax. Now you will calculate your tax. Tax rate is 40% as it was mentioned over here. 40% is your tax rate. So here you will apply your tax for which you need your previous income. Previous income was 34,000 and you will calculate 40% your tax. Tax has been calculated. Now we are open to calculate our income after tax. For that you will subtract tax from previous earning. Previous earning 34,000 and you will subtract amount of tax, which is 13,600. So we have got earning after tax, no preferred dividend. It means same previous income would be considered as your net earning, which was needed to calculate our EPS. And why I am continuously informing about EPS, look over here. We are asked to calculate EBIT EPS coordinates or relationships. Since we have calculated net earning, this is for structure A, and EBIT we have supposed was 50,000. At this level we do have our earning per share, which is called EPS. How would you calculate? Net earning you will take and then divide it with number of shares. Okay, we should write number of shares. This way you can calculate your earning per share. Number of shares are present over here, 4,000, and you have your net earning 22,400. So both aspects are ready to be put. Number of shares 4,000. How? Look over here, this is your net earning and 4,000 shares were mentioned in your question. Now you can put it on your calculator. 20,000 divided by 4,000. So we have got our first answer, and that is earning per share. Okay, you can see your first answer is 5.1 and you have got your 5.1. Since we have calculated our answer, let's mark it as it has been done. So this is your EPS which we have calculated at what stage? EPS has been calculated for EBIT 50,000. We are going to put it over here. Structure is needed. For every EBIT, we are needed to calculate EPS. First EBIT was taken 50,000 and EPS is calculated 5.1. Okay, so here you will perform everything again. This income statement, structure, everything you will be doing again because we do have second EPIT. Let's put over here. No, let's select again. I had not pushed the right button. Here we do have merged cells, so it won't work like this. So we'll have to take one by one. Let me see if it works. No. So again, we'll have to take all these things separately. First, we will take this. I often share you one thing that these lectures are absolutely live. There is no interruption, there is no pause, there is no transformation, no editing, everything is 100% live. So that is why sometimes you feel that there are things which can be edited or which can be done later on, but I am doing in front of you. Everything is 100% live. Alright, so now for second option we will change it. As you know, the second EBIT which was supposed is 60,000. Okay, and amount of interest for 60,000 would remain same. 16,000 was calculated, 1 lakh was amount of debt, and you need to calculate 16%, 60 multiplied with 16 divided by 100. So we have got our amount of interest, and then earning after interest and tax can be calculated by subtracting this interest from EBIT. 60,000 was EBIT and you need to subtract amount of interest. So here we have got income or earning after interest. Tax would be calculated, for which we need previous income, which is 44,000, and you need to calculate its tax, that is multiply by 40 divided by 100. In this way your tax has been calculated. Here we are open to calculate earning after tax, which would be the answer of difference between tax and earning before tax. 44,000 earning before tax, and you will subtract amount of tax 17600. So this way you have got your earning after tax. No preferred shares, so it means same previous income would be your net earning 26400. At this stage we will calculate our earning per share. Earning we have calculated is 26400 and we need to divide it with number of shares. 4,000 were number of shares in first stage. Okay, and let's put it on our calculator. 26,400 divided by 4,000. So we have got our second EPS, earning per share 6.6, and it has been matched. So it is already been marked. So two aspects have been calculated. Second EBIT was used for structure A 60,000, and EPS, earning per share, which was calculated, is 6.6. So let's put it over here, 6.6. This was for structure A, and let's mention that these attributes are for structure A. We are going to perform same function. This was your income statement, and we should mention what type of income statement was it. So this is income statement. EBIT was supposed 60,000 for structure A, and number of shares are 4,000. In this way, you will be able to understand what is this income statement about. And similarly, we will use it for above statement as well. This income statement was made when for structure A as well, and your EBIT was 50,000. Over here you have made for EBIT 60,000, and here EBIT was 50,000. Write down number of shares were 4,000. Number of share here is also 4,000 because it's for structure A. With this we have concluded two different attributes at 50,000 EBIT. At 50,000 EBIT you do have EPS 5.1, and at 60,000 EBIT you have got 6.6 as your EPS. So same we are going to perform for structure B as well. We will be doing this same function for structure B. What? 50,000 EBIT we will put and see how much is EPS, and then we will put 60,000 EBIT to calculate our EPS. It means EBIT would be used in similar way, but for structure B we have different number of shares, that is 2,000. Alright, come on guys, we will perform this function again. Here same performer would be taken for calculation of third statement, and it's not coming over here since there are several merged and unmerged cells already present. This would make a little difficult for us. Let's unmerge them, and now we will try again for taking, otherwise we'll have to write everything again. So this is little easy work when you will perform in this way. Now again we have some cells which are not ungrouped, so let's make our third try to pick it and write down over here. So it's not coming, that's not a good sign. Okay, little more time is okay. That had come, and that is disturbing. So remaining things would also be taken from here. Amounts are not needed, so we will leave them. Here you will put your units and per unit, and then heading is also needed. Let's take it over here. Okay, now first we will use our EBIT, which is 50,000. For structure B, we are starting for structure B Number of share are 2000 for structure B. Let's check it out for structure B. Yes, number of shares are 2000. This is our third income statement. We have created already two. This was second, and here we have created our first income statement. So third income statement we are making, where number of shares are 2000, EBIT is 50,000, so we will start it with 50,000. Kindly keep it in mind, this is for structure B, where everything would be put in a different way because aspects ratios are different. 50,000 put. Let's go back and see how much interest. Amount of interest, look over here, loan is 2 lakh. I think it is one more zero. No, 2 lakh, yes, 2 lakh loan at 17%. So here you will calculate your interest. Amount of loan is 2 lakh and amount of loan is 2 lakh and you need to calculate 17%, 17 divided by 100. So in this way our amount of interest has been calculated. Let's go back and I will show you again. Loan amount was 2 lakh, rate was 17%. So here you have calculated your amount of interest. You can now calculate your income by subtracting interest from EBIT. 50,000 is amount of EBIT and you will subtract 34,000 amount of interest. In this way, earning after interest has been calculated. Now we will calculate tax, which is 40%, for which we need previous income. 16,000 is your previous income and you will take 40% to calculate your tax. Now here you can calculate earning after tax by subtracting tax from previous earning. 16,000 is your previous earning and you will subtract amount of tax, which is 6,400. So in this way your earning after interest and tax has been calculated. Let's put a line over here. Since we know that there is no dividend, no preferred shares are present, zero, and finally same previous income would be your net earning. Net earning we have calculated just for single purpose to calculate earning per share, and this is your formula for EPS or earning per share. Earning per share has been calculated 9600 and number of shares mentioned 2000. So 9600 is needed to be divided by number of shares 2000. Statement has been completed. Now we are open to put it on calculator. So we have got third EPS. Let's check it out. Look over here, your third EPS is 4.8 and what we have calculated is also 4.8. So now it's time to calculate our fourth statement. Why? Because there were two structures and two EBITs. That is why you are making four different income statements. So again, there is a time of taking these headings again. I'm hopeful that it won't be complicated now. Here you will put your values. One by one we are taking from here to here. No statement is still okay. One more cell is needed to be unmerged. Okay, one more. Actually, there is a problem in Excel. It doesn't work actually what is needed. Okay, let's take these headings for fourth part instead of writing them again and again. And why it is not picking my headings? There are some cells. Okay, let's take it again. let me see if, oh great, everything has been put instantly. Okay, this is your fourth option where your second EBIT would be used. Second EBIT was 60,000. It is structure B and number of share are 2000. It will remain same. So EBIT would be put 60,000. And as you know, we are with structure B where your loan amount is 2 lakh with 17% interest. So let's calculate it. 2 lakh amount of debt and 17% is rate of interest. 2 lakh 17%. It has been taken from here, and here you have calculated 2 lakh into 17%, after which you can calculate income after interest by subtracting amount of interest from EBIT. 60,000 is amount of EBIT and you will subtract amount of interest, which is 34,000. So you have got earning after interest. It's time to calculate tax, for which we need previous earning. 26,000 is your previous earning. Then you will calculate 40%, multiply by 40 divided by 100. Tax has been calculated. You are open to calculate earning after interest by subtracting tax from earning before tax. 26,000 is earning before tax and you will subtract 10,400 amount of tax. Earning after tax has been calculated, no preferred shares. It means same income, previous income would be your net earning. Why we have calculated net earning? Because we need to calculate EPS or earning per share. First element is net earning, which has been calculated is 15,600, and then you need to divide it with number of shares, that is 2000. Statement is completed and now you can calculate earning per share. So fourth EPS has been calculated as 7.8. Let's check it out. Look over here. Fourth EPS is 7.8. So all answers are matched. So we were putting this statement over here. For structure B, this is for structure B and 50,000 EPS, 50,000 EBIT, and what you have calculated over here, EBIT structure B 50,000, it is structure A, and this was your third point. 4.8 for structure B EPS you have calculated is 4.8, and for 60,000, look over here, 60,000 EBIT 7.8, it should be fourth number. Yes, it is 4 and we have 7.8. So come over here and write down 7 point, what was that, 7.8. Let's check it out again. Yes, 7.8 and 4.8. 4.8, 7.8. Okay, we have completed our attributes, and these attributes would be used for our next requirement. Let's take them and we can put it to the right place here, and here there are again problems. So it doesn't mean just few seconds are needed to make it at right position, and we will now observe what is our next requirement. So get back to the question. Plot two capital structures on set of EBT, EBIT and EPS. Here you have already created this structure, EBIT and EPS. Let's take them and now we will be putting them on our graph. Okay, we have got it. So these are two attributes and we are in need to make a graph where EBIT and EPS both would be represented. Least EPS is 5.5 over here and here 4.8. So what table we can use? Let's start making our graph. Here we need to unmerge again. This graph would have two axes, X and Y. Here is your Y axis first would be created and vertical line is needed. Okay. Now we need to put our second graph, and instead of here we should start from here. Why? Because we need equal lines. So in this way you can put your equal lines. First y-axis and then you will put your x-axis horizontal line. Okay guys, this line is not now needed. We can erase it. Come over here. At this you can put your EPS at y-axis on, and here you can put at x-axis your EBITs. Let's put EBIT over here, and inputs are present over here 50,000 and 60,000, while EPS is 5.1, 4.8, maximum 7.8 and minimum 4.8. Okay, here you can start which element you can choose. It may be 1, 2, 3, it may be 2, 4, 6. If we will take one, we need 8 lines. So that can also be used as one. So let's put 1 and we need to align them on right side. In Excel, you will be learning how to edit in short period. Then 2, we need to put 2 over here. And then 3, oh my god, something is getting wrong. 3, then 4, we do have 5, 6, 7, 7.8 was needed, so here you will put 8. Alright guys, these statements are completed for EPS. Let's arrange them, and now we need to put our EBITs 50 and 60,000. So let's start with 10,000. For that you need 6 columns. Okay, count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, this graph would go till here. Let's make a horizontal line equal to this. Put your EBITs. Here you will put 10,000 and then 20,000. Then we have 30,000, 40,000, 50,000, and finally 60,000 would be put over here. So all EBITs are also being presented over here. Both inputs or attributes are now presentable. Let's start for structure A first. Structure A include 50,000 EBIT. Here you will put the marks. Let's choose a circle for marking, and here you will put this mark. Make accurate size. Small points are needed. First point is where 50,000 EBIT is present over here. Let's get back to this stage. This is your 50,000 EBIT and your EPS should be 5.1. Fifth line is here. Let's make it down and little up You have got your first line. This is for structure A, and now for 60,000, 6.6. This is your 60,000 point. Let's come over here, and EPS is 6.6. To see your EPS, let's come down over here. 6.6. This line is for 6. Okay, this we have to zoom off for a little while so that we can see both values present over here. The sixth line is this one, and we need to make it little up, and we need to go to 6.6. In between these two lines, this is accurate sign. So let's adjust. Two lines we have seen. Now let's join these 2 points for which a straight line is needed. Let's pick it up. So to join these lines till axis, we have these points. So this is your structure A. Blue would be considered as structure A, and now we will change the color to set it down. For structure B, again 50,000 would be taken. This point is needed, and why we don't have. Okay, we have got. So for 50,000, structure B 4.8. 50,000 we have, and this is your fourth line, and little above would be 4.8. This is your first point. Let's change its color. We can mark it as red. First point I have seen, and now second point. For that we need to go to 60,000 and 7.8. 60,000 we have reached, and 7.8 line is this, and let's take it over here. 7.8 would be just down 8 point. So two red lines are present over here. Now we are going to mark them, joining these lines with the help of a straight line. Let's join them, and we do have this much straight line. Let's change its color as well. We are going to make it red, and red color is not present. Let's see if we can find the color. No, the color is not present over here, so we don't need it. Let it be put back. Oh my god. So let's remove it. It is not needed, and we actually willing to change the color of this line. Let's try again. So just make it different color. No change. Once again, let's make it red. Okay, we have now two lines. Structure B is red. Here you can write it down. This is structure B, and blue line presenting over here is structure A. Now please remember that structure A is blue and structure B is red. Just to remind, if there is any requirement related to this, you will easily be getting the point. Structure B is red. Let's get back to the question and see what is our requirement. Plot two capital structures on EBIT. Both capital structures have been plotted over here. It is completed. B part. Indicate over what EBIT range, if any, each structure is preferred. This is your EBIT range, and you can see that this is your crossing point. Over here, please focus upon blue line. Whatever point you will take, you will see that EPS of structure A is better than EPS of B structure. Over here you can see at this point at 40,000, red line is far less than that of blue line. Before crossing we can see that structure A is better, and after crossing you can see that structure B is far better because EPS has been improved. So this is what we can conclude, that before crossing structure A is better because its EPS is better. Please understand what I have said. At 40,000 point you have EPS of red structure far less as compared to EPS of structure A. At this stage structure A is having EPS equal to 4, and same for 40,000 your EPS is 1. So what we will say, structure A is better for this organization because EPS is handsome or fruitful. This is your discussion for point C. Discuss the leverage risks aspects of each structure. Here you will see your amount of interest 16,000 and 16,000. Structure A is less risky. I'm very hopeful. Yes, because your rate of interest or amount of interest for structure B is more than that of structure A. For structure A, how much interest? 16,000. For structure B, how much interest? 34,000. So since outside payment is more, it means risk is more. Or there is another aspect, if you will see, this is almost the break-even point. Why? Because interest would be paid in a fixed rate. This is also be called as your fixed amount of payment, fixed cost. So since to achieve this fixed cost, B structure will require more payment as compared to the A structure. Again, I'm giving you the same discussion. Look over here, amount of interest of structure A is 16,000 and amount of interest for structure B is 34,000. So 34,000 is more unfavorable as compared to structure A. Why not we should write it so that you can remember it. Let's make it visible again. So guys, structure A has less break even, and that is 14,000. So it means it has less risk as compared to structure B, which has 34,000 interest or break even. So in this way you have completed your statement. What have you done? Let's make it visible to you. This is what we were discussing orally, and now we have written it properly. Structure A has less break even 14,000. Structure B is having more break even 34,000. Let's read it down. It was interest 16,000 and 34,000. So it is 16 and 34,000. This is what we were discussing. Since amount of payment of interest for structure A is far less than that of amount of interest of B, what we will conclude that structure A has less risk as compared to structure B. This is for your C and D point. So get back to the question. If the firm is fairly certain that its EBIT will exceed 75,000, which structure would you recommend? Okay, for this, let's go to the graph. Both of them are having different shapes. Blue is steeper, blue is flatter, and red is steeper. Flatter means it is close to x-axis or nearly parallel to x-axis. When your slope is uh, closer to x-axis, it is flatter. When it when your line or trend is closer to y-axis, so what we will say, it is steeper. So blue is flatter and red is steeper. What it shows, your attention is needed, otherwise it would be difficult for you to understand. Please focus upon red line. It is showing that your EBIT when will increase, a huge change will come in EPS. Small change in this, we are talking about red structure, and this is small change, or instead of small change we should use another word, uh, due to, no, smaller change is good. Small change in EBIT would result huge change in EPS. So this is our conclusion. When you will change your EBIT at very smaller level, what will happen? Your EPS will be changed in, as compared to your EBIT. Change in EPS would be more than change in your EBIT. Yes, that was the statement I was looking for. We can write it again. Change in EBIT is more, change in EBIT is less than change in EPS. What it is showing, that a huge change in income when you will make the change from 40,000 to 50,000 to 60,000. This is what we are going to discuss for the steeper curve. So relatively smaller change in income will make bigger change in EPS. This is what we have written over here. Change in EBIT is less than change in EPS, means when you will change your EBIT at higher level or lower level, the change in EPS would be more than that of change in EBIT. Actually, I want to make it more clear. For that, let's choose some lines. What my point of view is needed to be explained. Let's make first change. From here, you have made your first change, and second change was made over here. This is your second point. Let's change this blue point over here and over here. Look, this much change you have made, and we will take an arrow to make it more understandable form. Now please understand that this is what you have changed. Search shapes and arrow. Please understand, this is your change in EBIT. Okay. Due to this change, what change will comes in EPS? And for that, you will pick this line and we will use it. Okay. So here you have your first point present over here and your second point would lie over here. This is your first change, and for second change you will see this is your first point and second point is present over here. So how much change has come, for which we will use this arrow to indicate. Take it over here, and I'm very sure that you will understand it now. No, this is not needed. Let's remove it first. Task window is not needed. Okay, grab it, put it like this. Okay, now understand that a huge change you have made in EBIT. Due to this huge change, a very small change come in your EPS. That is what I was willing to let you know. In structure a huge change in EBIT is needed to get a very small change in EPS. That is why it is not favorable in a way. But over red line, you will make a smaller change in EBIT, with which what will happen? A huge change will come in your EPS. Now we will conclude by getting this point. If the firm is fairly certain that EBIT will exceed 75,000, so let me know where you will get your benefit. If your EBIT will increase to 75,000, but even then a huge change in EBIT, this EPS would not be increased as much in case of structure A. For that, structure B would be better. Please understand it again. If 75,000 your EBIT would be increased, it means there will be a huge change in EBIT. Even after huge change in EBIT, a very small change will come in your EPS. So structure A would not be in your favor, structure B would be favorable. Go back to the question and look over here. What structure would you recommend? We are getting the answer of this particular query. Suppose for structure A, what will happen? You have changed your EBIT till 75,000. That means a huge change you want to make. But even after a huge increase in EBIT, very small change you will get for EPS. Obviously, it would be unfavorable for you. So structure A would not be recommended. This is your last point, and that is point E, where you have concluded that structure A would not be recommended if EBIT is increased to $75,000. Answer is very simple, just two lines, but I'm requesting you to please understand it. Structure A is showing a flatter type of curve, which is showing that a huge change in EBIT is needed to get a very small change in EPS. EPS is a favorable matter for shareholders, so they will never prefer a structure where you need to get a lot of earning to get a smaller EPS change. So structure A would not be recommended. Okay, let's get back to the question. And there were A, B, C, D, E points. Only A point was having numerical values. And we are quickly reviewing that 5.1 first answer. And then we have 6.6 second answer. Then we have 4.8 our third answer. and then we have fourth answer 7.8, and here was your fourth point where you have calculated 7.8. These attributes were noted down over here, with the help of which you have created a graph. And last 2 points were theoretical, where we have understood that structure A, in last point, if increase in ABIT is preferred, then structure A would not be recommended, as even after a huge change in EBIT, there will be a very small change in EPS. So structure A was rejected in E point. And in D point, what we have discussed, that structure A was better. In D point, structure A was better. In E point, B structure A would not be recommended. Look over here. Here we have selected A is selected, and here A is rejected. So point of views are different. When you are focusing upon break-even point, here amount of interest was less than that of amount of interest of B, so you have preferred A. While in E point, you were focusing upon EBIT and EPS. Since A was rejected, why? Because huge change in EBIT was required to get a smaller change in EPS. So A was selected in D point and A was rejected in E point. D and E point was discussed theoretically. In this way, our question 13.22 has been completed. But solution is in front of you, graph is present, your reviews are present, question is completed, solutions and answers are matched, graph has been completed, every point has been discussed. But even then, I am offering you to ask your question openly. If you are feeling any difficulty, you may share your problems through messages, text, or you can directly contact for solution of your queries. I am assuring you that I will be available instantly to answer your question. 13.22 has been completed. Surely we will be meeting soon again for solution of any other question. Up till then, please take care of yourself, and I am requesting you to please pray for me as well. And a humble request to please repeat this question for 4 to 5 times. This would be better for your understanding. 13.22 has been ended. It's time to end our lecture. Thank you very much for your time. It's time to say goodbye. Allah Hafiz.